So, Roy, how would you sum up that first half display for Manchester United against Manchester City?
It's shocking. Eric Bailly, what are you doing? Manchester City, they don't even need a striker, so why would they need you to score goals for them? It's shocking. Listen, you've got Ollie on the bench. He's talking to Carrick about what they're going to have for lunch. It's embarrassing. It's shocking. Listen, this could get ugly. I've been saying Luke Shaw for days. Luke Shaw is shocking. I give up.
Went out of Swansea, and we're just chatting away, mate. And all of a sudden, all the fucking windows came through in the train. Right? There was about 50 bricks come out the train and took out every fucking window in that carriage.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, obviously, it's me, Harry Kane, and I just want to say welcome back to West Ham Random, and obviously, so welcome back to Football Unfocused with two legends in the game, which is Kieran and Clive. So, yeah, obviously, it's a big show that comes on weekly, and they've somehow I've got the gig to introduce it, so I'm over the moon. Obviously, I'm not happy at Spurs, so doing something like this is, so obviously, I'm over the moon. So, big up Kieran and Clive, and big up Football Unfocused. So, obviously, I'll see you guys next time.
Oh, Football Unfocused.
Hammers Fans United, what is your name? So, just so I know who you are. Your name isn't Titch. Nobody gets christened or named Titch. I mean, your nickname's Titch, and I'm happy for that.
I do love that clip. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Good of you to join me. Let me quickly go to the comments. Nobody's commented yet, so that's cool. Right, so tonight's show, we've titled it, what did I title it? Oh, yeah, that was it. I titled it Priceless Declan. What is his true value? Right, so we're going to discuss that in a minute. Peach is going to join us. At the moment, he's just having his pie mash and liquor with mum and dad. So he'll be in with us shortly. And we're going to talk about Declan Rice. But in the meantime, before we do that, I'm going to just say hello to Darren in the house. Hello, mate. Anyone else there yet? There's 4 or 5 of you in the chat. So let us know who you are and where you are, and we'll have a little chat. So before Peach actually arrives, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to just read from a little note sheet that I've made. Good evening, Luke. How are you, sir? Thank you for joining us. A little note sheet that I've prepared for a show that we were doing the other day, and I never got round to doing this. And I don't know whether to do this now or not. I don't know if this is a good idea. I think Darren might agree with me that it's a good idea, actually. I was going to talk about one of our ladies in the ladies team. Any guesses who that might be? No guesses. Well, I'll just give you a little clue. She was born in a place called Toda in Saitama, Japan. She's a midfielder, plays for West Ham ladies. Her name, nobody's come up with it yet. Yui Hasegawa. Okay, so she was born 29th of January 1997. That makes her 24 years old, which is, prime age for athletes and sportsmen and sports ladies. So good evening, Hamhead. I can see you in the chat. I will show your comment in a minute. Born January 1997, making her 24 years old. Her squad number is 14. Her youth career between 2009 2012 was for Nippon TV Belize. She then moved from there into the senior squad at Nippon in 2013 through to 2021. She made she made hold on. Wait. Yeah, sorry. From 2013 to 2021, she scored 11 goals for Nippon. She then moved on to Milan in the the middle part of 2021. And she only made 9 appearances for them, scoring 3 goals. So she seems to know where the back of the net is, fortunately. And then obviously this year also she's moved again from Milan to West Ham. She's only made 6 appearances at the moment and scored just 1 goal so far, up to the point where I had done this research. I don't believe they've played since, but I could be wrong. She also plays for the Japanese national team. For the under-17, she made 9 appearances, got 3 goals. In the under-20 setup, she played 6 times and scored twice. And then for the senior squad, she has played a total of 45 games up till now, and she has scored 9 goals. So the girl knows where the back of the net is. She's obviously got some talent about her, and so it's just a case that she's she's useful to us, very, very useful. Bear with me for a second. I am going to keep doing this, but I've got to just quickly send this. Yeah, he knows I'm on now. That's all right. So Peach will come in any moment. She's played for national team now since the under-17 setup, and she's done really well. She's had 4 league titles in Japan and been runner-up twice, and she's only had 6 seasons in Japan, senior seasons in Japan. So she, 7, that is 7 seasons. She's only had 4 titles, 2 runners-up. So only once in 1 season did she fail to get winner or runners-up medals. She's had 5 cup final wins during that spell as well in Japan. So she's well used to winning. She's got a winning mentality. And also she was selected Best Japan 11 in 2017. She scored her international goals against Iceland, Denmark, North Korea, Brazil, Germany, Holland, Canada, and most recently against Panama. Her only goal for West Ham came in the game against Manchester City, when the City defender, Demi Stokes, passed the ball backwards poorly. Hasegawa latched onto the ball, did a little jink, took it onto her left foot and lobbed it over the keeper for an absolutely beautiful peach of a finish. So we are, here we are. Here he is, the man of the moment.
You know what they're calling me around the block now, Budgie?
Go on, what's that, mate?
Thumbnail man. I sorted it.
Thumbnail, nice. Yeah, I forgot to upload it, and then that one of your picture came up, so I just thought that'll do.
No, I got a nice one. It's just Declan. Like there was some Rice Babies ones there that was nice.
Yeah.
But this one's just solid. It's just like Declan Rice, like standing in front of like carrot and blue. You know what I mean? Solid.
Yeah. Bear with me for one moment, Peach, because I'm just going to finish off. I was just talking about the young Japanese girl we've got, Yui Hasegawa. I was just giving a few details about her career and where she is at the moment and how she's been doing. We have got a very, very good talent in Yui Hasegawa. I believe that she will be as important to the ladies' game for us as perhaps Thomas Souček is for us in the men's game. So there you have it. There's my little rundown on Yui Hasegawa. I'll probably find another one to do a little rundown on at another time on another show. Right, we called this pRICEless Declan for a reason. We want to talk about Declan Rice. Before we do, let's just have a little brief rundown on some of the comments, shall we? Okay.
Go ahead, man.
So Titch is in the house. Disabled team are in the house. Darren Higgins, Hamhead. I've done a few of the comments, and I wanted to go back to this one. Hamhead says, "Evening, everyone, and Budgie. Hope we're all well. Not going to mention the performance, same as last week, if you ask me." Well, we're going to get to that in a minute, Hammerhead, but I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, if you know what I mean. Jenny Sushi. Jenny Sushi, nice one, Luke. I love your sense of humour, man. You're gonna have to, what's that word called? Transfuse some of it into my veins, bro. Hi, disabled team. Nice of you to join us, guys. Good morning, everybody. They're saying. Darren says, she is a babe in my eyes. We're talking about Yui Hasegawa now. I agree. I mean, she is a very attractive young lady. And, it's not for that reason that I've done the highlight on her. It's because she is a talented player. And, we've picked her up at a reasonably good price. It's a competitive price for the way things are going. In the girls' game, in the women's game, sorry, my apologies. She's got a hell of a lot of prospect. She's really good. I've watched her a few times now, and I like her. I've watched, a few clips of her on YouTube. Hammers Fans United. Titch, good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us. We know you've had a long and busy day today, mate, so we really appreciate you popping in. You know where we are if you want to come in and say hi to the guys out there. That looked good. That looked good having a glass of milk, man. That's a milk or milk cake,
I got the chocolate milk with the chocolate chunk cookies. Oh, it's a go-to after some fine mash time. Trust me.
That's the way. And it beats cider any day of the week, man.
100. It's tasty.
Football with Brownie. Good evening, Brownie. Good morning, Brownie. Good afternoon, Brownie. I'm not sure where you are. All right, lads. Shame you.
He's in Wales. He's in Cardiff.
To get all 3 points. Oh, so it's morning for you, Brownie. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes, you are the Cardiff man, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yeah, it's a shame we couldn't get all 3 points. An incredible goal to get the draw. I was watching the game, and I was in the watch along with Titch as well. And as that went in, Titch was calling for a dangerous foot. I didn't see it that way. I thought, Titch did say, you get your head in there so that you get that decision. That's almost like diving in the penalty box when there's nobody around you, in my opinion. If you don't, if you go in for a ball and you're committed already and the boot gets you in the face, I agree. But if you're not fully committed and you see that foot coming up and you can avoid it, I would fucking avoid it, mate. That's me. But that's just me. All right. You look like you're absolutely loving that peach.
Oh, so good. And it's yeah. Go on, Budgie. Keep going.
Scott Venn. Good evening, Scott. Welcome to the Madhouse, mate. He's saying a frustrating evening. Potter got it spot on tonight. Brighton deserved that point. And I would be inclined to agree with you. And, to be perfectly honest, Graham Potter's a far better manager than anybody gave him credit for when he first arrived at Brighton. That's just my own.
That's correct. Yeah.
Evening, Brownie. Scotty's saying, hope you're well, Scotty replies. Brownie replies. Yeah. That's more chat. And I won't actually read them out. I'll just let you read them yourselves. Scotty says, you boys have been doing well recently. We have, mate, but we've had a couple of, shocking games. Look, nobody expects us to get anything against Manchester City. We managed to get that consolation goal at the end from Manu, another worldie. I agree. I think actually,
he's
that
coming
goal
with it. Anybody, Lanzini's coming with it of recent, man.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. And I think look, he got a shot off on goal tonight. And he fought for it. He didn't allow that to just go to anyone else. He fought for it. He got it. He turned on it, and he tried a similar thing to what he did on Sunday. Unfortunately, it was blocked. We had a couple of decent chances. Brighton had a few decent chances. There were one or two, heart in the mouth moments when the ball went just wide. Lamptey came on and completely changed Brighton's dynamic, which, in fairness to David Moyes, he kind of played a different game to what he would normally play, Lamptey. I didn't see him bombing up and down the wing like he would normally do. He was coming in field a lot more, I felt, tonight. So, so I felt that, even though David Moyes had probably planned for him, the fact that he changed his game slightly must have confused the boys, because he managed to get himself in a couple of very dangerous positions, that young man. Right, okay, back to the comments. Scott Venn says, it is time for Antonio to be dropped with big wide eyes. And I agree,
100%. Who said that, Budgie?
Scotty.
100%, Scotty. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Exactly that. Brownie's saying that fingers crossed that it can continue, Scott, as we are almost back in the pack.
Oh yeah, Cardiff. They are. I presume.
Yeah, I presume Cardiff are doing well. I must admit, I do apologise. I don't really follow Cardiff.
I watched them because of Brownie. I give them a watch, and I'll tell you that Kiefer Moore, he is absolutely brilliant, and I take him at West Ham any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Yeah. But I am quite familiar with. With Cardiff, but not recently. Not in the last sort of 3 years or so. Actually, I think the last time I recall really reading or seeing any news on Cardiff,
Robert Earnshaw was playing for them.
No. It was after the unfortunate incident with Emiliano Sala.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was really the last sort of news or anything that I've really heard about Cardiff. And I must apologise. I call myself a football fan, and I should know a little bit more about the clubs around the country. But I've been busy doing lots of other stuff and concentrating on West Ham, because now that I've started doing this, I'm finding myself looking at more newsreels and more video reels on YouTube, etc., etc. So, I'm doing a little bit more research. I haven't really had a chance to watch other clubs around. The only other club that I'm really kind of following at the moment is Crawley Town, and that's because that's my local team. I mean, I can hear the stadium on a Saturday. I sit in my front room, and I can hear them chanting.
That was like my nan. That was like my nan. She lived on Raynham Road, and you could sit in her, because she used to live in a flat, but it was up at the top. So you walk up the stairs. We used to have a cup of tea budgie. And turn the TV off, and you could hear them at the Daggers ground, Dagenham and Redbridge. You could hear them at the Daggers going nuts. I love that supporters club, man. I used to go into that supporters club all the time, man. That was fun, man. That was good times.
It's great. I mean, when you live near to a lower league team ground, you do tend to follow their progress. I wouldn't say I support them, even though I was bloody born even closer to the stadium than I live now. But the stadium wasn't there when I was born. But
you're saying you can hear Crawley Town, yeah?
Listen, I could walk to Crawley Town ground right now while I'm on air to you, and if I left at 55 minutes past the hour, if I left in 3 minutes time, I would be down there before 1 o'clock. Whoa, there goes my phone.
I know that happened to me earlier on. Don't worry about it. That happened to me earlier on. But let me tell you this. My cousin probably lives. My cousin is probably your neighbor, dog. My cousin is Mark Croft is probably your neighbor, and he's probably your neighbor because he can do the same thing as you can. And he bought me like a couple programs, like Crawley Town programs. Budgie's gone, but my cousin lives in Crawley Town, like the same equivalent distance that Budgie lives. And there's one thing not good about him though. He supports Millwall. It's not good.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yo, Budgie, did you hear the bad news?
No, I didn't. No.
My cousin who lives, because he lives like basically the same like time efficiencies it takes you to get to Crawley Town ground.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like 2-3 minutes. The bad thing is he supports Millwall. And he's my cousin, doc. He's my cousin.
What's his name?
Mark Croft. And he drives a black car and it has MWFC. And he lives in Crawley Town, the same distance as it takes you to get to Crawley Town ground. And like he bought me a couple programs, Crawley Town ground, red and white things, and like sent them to me. And he had the audacity when I was at my aunt and uncle's place. God rest my uncle's soul. He was the best. But he had the audacity, like my name starts with M, and then my name starts. My first initial is M. My second initial is W. So I was like, "Oh, you got a license plate honoring your cousin, MWFC. Nice one." He's like, "No, mate, that stands for Millwall." I was like, "Oh, how can you do that?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Don't worry. That was old school detention and this and that and the beef. I'll take you down to the den. We got a box in the den." I was like, "Brethren, you could not drag me by my ear to the den, dog, like in your little box." I was like, "That is not happening. I'd get a rash. I'd go into anaphylactic shock, dog." I would.
Kicking and fucking screaming all the way.
Yeah. Really though, really. But no, differently. Like joking aside, he lives like about 3 to 5 minutes away from Crawley Town's ground, so he lives like right around where you live.
So if you get a chance to find out, I mean, I live in a neighbourhood called Southgate. Okay. And obviously you know the name of the pub that I drink in, the New Moon. So ask him if he's aware of that, and you know, tell him just pop in and have a pint with me. In fact, you know what? There is a guy around here. We call Millwall Mark. I wonder if he's tall. He's tall. We call him Bones because he's like skinny and tall, and he has a bald head. No, it's not the same guy, but I think I know what you mean, actually.
Yeah, you go. See? Yeah, he's skinny.
Yeah,
so we call him Bones. Like in the family, we call him Bones. Yeah, he's skinny, tall, bald head. Like, that's the boy. Black car, the white license plate, MWFC. That's your boy. You go up to him. You go up to him and you say, I know your cousin in Canada. He will flip the out, man. He will go.
And I am party to knowing your actual first name anyway. So I would say to him, I know your cousin in Canada, and then use your name. Yeah. And he'll go, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
He would do too, man. He would do too, man. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yeah. Take football out of it. He's a good boy.
Yeah, no doubt. And listen, I actually know a couple of Millwall fans around here, and we get on all right. You know, we don't have no beef about it. Back in the day, we would have done, but not anymore.
That's what you're saying.
I'm bloody 60 years old in a month. You know, I don't need aggro and nonsense, and you know. But there you go. So, okay, we are going to talk a little bit about tonight's match, then, mate.
Yes.
So Okay, I watched and I was in the chat and everything when you did the ratings with Titch an hour or so ago. Good show, by the way. Enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. I was very, very disappointed though in the way you treated Fabianski. I got to be honest with you, Peach. I really do feel that you need to rectify that mistake, mate. You know.
I'll agree with you. It was harsh. It was very harsh. But you know what it is, Budgie? I agree with the loyalty. I agree with holding on to your keeper that was there for you when people like Roberto were there and Martins was there. Big up Martins. What a game he had against Chelsea. I'll never ever forget the ending of that game. That was just like that was like the end of an Oscar award winning drama movie. Like that was when he went over
and then to
see him
run up into the stand and go and
that did
greet
me
his
in.
father.
I got a lump in my throat like when I saw that. Like I was tearing.
Lump in your throat, man. I actually had tears in my eyes.
So did I. That's what I'm saying.
Very emotional.
Oh, that was nuts. That was nuts.
Brown is telling you to keep off keeper more.
No, I know. That's I saw that. He loves him. I know that. But why do you think I said it? But no, I'd have keeper more any day of the week. But with Fabianski, it's a thing with. I agree with the loyalty. Don't get me wrong, and I know this won't rub a lot of supporters the right way, but I want Areola in goal. Like I want him to be given a shot. Like I know it's traditional how you do it. You introduce them through cup matches, and you introduce them through the Europa League, which I think we're doing brilliant in. Like when you look at the whole under a microscope, we're doing really good because we're doing well in the Carabao Cup. We're still in it. We're doing well in Europa. We haven't got beaten. We've only lost 3 games, and it's come to the point where a draw feels like a loss. We are doing good, but now we've tasted that tonic. We want to taste more of that tonic. And I think this would be a perfect time to bet in Areola, especially with the fixtures coming up. And it was a very harsh score. Don't get me wrong, I know that. And I respect Fabianski a lot. But I think the things he didn't do today, Areola could have done.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, do not expect to see Areola in goal on Sunday. That isn't going to happen.
I'd love to. I would love to.
It's not going to happen though, because I would love to. David Moyes needs consistency for Saturday. Sorry, he needs like the consistency of the squad, the familiarity in the team, and you know he's probably going to start with Antonio again. Sorry, I drank that coffee a bit quickly and it's giving me hiccups.
No, don't worry, take your time.
I think he's probably going to start with Fabianski. You're probably going to find Zuma in the back there. That's going to be an interesting one, actually.
What's that?
When Zuma makes up with the Chelsea players on the pitch, how are they going to, receive him, as it were? I think that Chelsea will treat him with the respect he's due, and I know for a fact he'll treat them with the respect they're due as well. So
yeah, I agree.
And I just hope that now this is my only hope, right, of this game. Well, no, not my only hope. My hope, obviously, is going to be for us to get 3 points. But one thing that I would really like to see happen on Sunday is for Zuma to score against his old club, because he can celebrate. He can celebrate in front of our fans. It's at home. So, if it was at Chelsea, then he probably wouldn't. But and he's celebration would probably be a little bit muted as well, because of it being against Chelsea. But I also really do firmly believe that there are certain players in that Chelsea squad and Chelsea lineup that are probably inevitable to be facing us on Saturday. I believe that if Zuma did get a goal, I believe there'd be a number of players on that Chelsea team that would applaud him or congratulate him on it. Because, I've watched a couple of, behind the scenes things of Chelsea, with my brother. And, when he was still at Chelsea and he was in training, he was really popular. Really popular. I mean, he was like every single player that, like at the end of a session or whatever, every single player that walked past him or walked with him or whatever, there was like that camaraderie type physical contact between them. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you see that picture of Sonny Perkins after his little debut the other night,
with Noble,
and you see that picture of him and Noble. I mean, that's a beautiful
that's
shot.
Lovely. Yeah,
but,
that's lovely.
That's what the Chelsea boys were like with Zuma when he was with them.
Yeah.
And I think actually the training session that I saw was possibly after our approach.
Okay.
So he may have known at that point that he was going to come to us. And it might have been one of his last training sessions, But they were all, he'd done his workout and whatever else. And as they were walking off the training grounds, they were walking up and like, what's his name? The American guy, Pulisic.
Yeah.
Pulisic walked up to him and stuck his arm on his shoulder, around his shoulder like that. And he's not much taller than Pulisic because he's quite a tall lad, that Pulisic. And he put his arm around like Kurt Zuma's shoulder and that. And as they were walking, Zuma and him were having a proper giggle together. So even though his name is Happy, his middle name is Happy. That's also his nature. That's also his temperament. That's his nature as well. I
agree with you. Even when he came over to West Ham, he was giving it that, and he was on the bed, like to get better bed after the match, and like him and Rice, they're singing some French reggae song, and it's like they were jamming. Like he just has that electricity about him, and he just has that like nice natured being about him. Like he's a good person.
He does.
He's happy.
And
he's happy.
Did you see the post match after he'd scored his goal? Did you see the post match interview with him?
No.
It wasn't a great big long one. It was brief. It was probably about 45 seconds or something. But maybe just a tad more. But they said to him, congratulations on your first goal for West Ham and so on and so forth. And he said, yes, it's always nice to score. It wasn't about that. It was about the 3 points. It was about working hard with the rest of the lads.
It's about the team.
And getting the 3 points for the team. So he tried to acknowledge his plaudits for the goal, but also, I wouldn't have got that goal without the rest of the boys around me, kind of thing. And I felt that was really nice. And I know that's the professional thing to do, etc., and kind of what you expect from a professional. But sometimes there's a certain amount of genuine.
And it was genuine when he said it, wasn't it, Budgie? It was it was.
Completely.
It was like it was genuine when he said it. Like you could see it in his eyes, feel it in his heart. Like he meant that. He didn't just say that to say that.
He is truly happy. He's truly happy with where he works now.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's truly happy with it.
He's a good boy. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy that we have his services at our club. I think he's a brilliant person. I think he's a brilliant professional.
Fantastic acquisition. Acquisition.
That's well said. Well said.
And I've been flying his flag from the day he arrived. Now today, I mean, I felt he had a good game today. So now I'm waving two flags for him today.
Yeah, I rated him. I rated him at 8, Budgie. I thought he was a solid 8. I thought he was a solid 8 today, man. Like,
I did too.
Yeah. Good for you, man.
But having said that, during the rating show with Titch earlier, I actually gave him a 7 because I didn't want to be overly generous on that on those ratings. You know, because even though he played to the standard of an 8, you know, the whole game kind of knocked a point off of everybody, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. You're right about that.
I mean, where you know, I gave Deck a 9. Normally, on today's performance, he would have got a 10. But you know, because of the group performance wasn't great. Individuals were good, but the group performance wasn't great. So therefore, everybody in the group loses a point, in my opinion. You know, but Declan man of the match. That's what I was going to say. Declan man of the match. You know, full marks for him. You know, I said 9 out of 10 for me.
100. But
you gave him a 10, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But where do we go next? Like, the players get chipped and chopped. Does the training regime stay the same, or do we spike it? Does the way we're playing stay the same, or do we like change that? There's change that is needed, man. There's change that is needed, and Moyes needs to make that change. Like, he needs to pivot. Right now is the time to pivot, and he needs to pivot. I don't know what way is to pivot, but he needs to pivot some way, somehow, to get a result out of these guys. Honest.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the tactical side of things, I think David Moyes is sort of stagnating slightly. You know, he's not stirring the pond up enough, if you know what I mean. Let me use a better analogy than that, because that was absolutely shocking. Right, okay, so basically what I'm saying is that he's not changing things around enough within acceptable limits of that formation that he wants to use, or of that tactical approach that he wants them to have. You know, like, for example, this is hypothetical as well. I'm not, you know, pointing out anybody or any scenario in particular. I'm giving you a hypothetical here. Like, for example, if Declan Rice is out there giving like 100% in every single game, which he does anyway, and then you've got, let's say for argument's sake, Mark Noble next to him, who is giving 100% in his head and his heart, but his body can only give 70%, then that kind of makes Declan look better than what he actually is on the day, if you know what I mean. Because he's central partner, he's having to cover for, if you know what I mean. Whereas if you look at
what Epic Hashtime just wrote down, Rice and Souček are better at finishing than the attacking players. Maybe put Krall in there, like Tip said, and play 3 central midfielders, Rice, Souček, and Krall. I think that would be fantastic, because you'd be able to have Rice go forward, Souček go forward. Like, that makes sense, Epic. That makes sense. I've
been calling for that for the last couple of weeks as well, haven't I?
Word up 100, man.
You know, but I think that, you know, with Declan Rice, and you know, mainly this is what we wanted to speak about this evening was Dec.
Yes.
I think with Declan Rice, you've got to have the right midfield partner for him, and Thomas Souček is it. Do you know what I mean? We haven't got Calvin Phillips, the guy that he dominated the European competition with. Him and, you know, Phillips during the Euros competition with England, you know, they were stated as being the best midfield pairing in the world in Europe at that time. Okay, and possibly in the world. Well, Calvin Phillips, I think, is slightly more technically better than Souček or Rice on the ball.
Yeah.
No, technically he's better on the ball than Souček or Rice, in my opinion. He's probably, maybe a yard and a half quicker, and probably 3 stone lighter in ability to hold off a player, if you know what I mean. I'm not talking about his actual physical body weight, but I'm talking about the amount of punishment he could take.
I get you.
I think Rice and Souček can take a lot more nudging in the ribs and bullying on the ball than perhaps Calvin Phillips can. So I think that actually at this moment in time, the way Declan Rice is playing, the performances that he's been putting in, and and the performance that he demands from the players around him, I think the only one really out there that's doing that for him right now is Thomas Souček. They lost their mojo a little bit at the beginning of the season. They found it again.
They did. What's your thoughts on that? I think he plays for Liverpool. Nat Phillips.
Matt Phillips. Yeah. From what I've seen of him, he's a reasonable player.
Apparently, we're after him. Apparently, we're putting in a shout for him.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I read the other day.
I wish it was Andy Robertson.
Oh, the boy from Fulham.
No, Andy Robertson.
Oh no, the boy from Liverpool, the Scottish boy from Liverpool.
Yeah,
he's phenomenal. I think he's out of our price range, though, to tell you the truth.
Oh yeah, I mean, we got to exclude Van Dijk from this conversation.
Yeah.
A, he don't want to move from Liverpool. B, he's well out of our price range, and C, he wouldn't come to us anyway. But that Andy Robertson, I think he's a better player than Trent. I think he's a better player than Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he's got a much better vision of where he wants the ball to go and more ability to put it there. If he was ever up on the market, I would be screaming for Moyes to go and get him. I mean, the fact is that Liverpool ain't going to let him go, not to anybody, least of all another top 4 challenger at the moment.
What position does Nat Phillips play?
Matt Phillips.
Is it defensive midfield or is it like centre half or like right back to left back? I thought it was like left back or right back.
Yeah, I think he's utilised, if I'm honest.
So he's kind of like a Hayden Mullins, like he's a Renaissance player. He can play anywhere at the back, kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, I think. Mate, listen. Hammerhead's in the chat.
Oh, I hope she has a wrench. I hope she has a wrench. Straight up.
What's his registered position, if you know what I mean? What's he recognised? Not registered. Sorry. I'm asking Hammerhead now.
I know you are. I'm thinking out loud. Like, I'm trying to think as you're asking her.
Yeah, I do that as well sometimes. Sorry. So if you know Hammerhead, pop it up in the chat for us, mate, because neither Peach nor I can use our phones for searching for stuff at the moment. Unless, of course, you want to sit there looking at a blank screen, which I'm sure would probably be a lot more entertaining than me.
The lights are on in the lights are on in the store, but nobody's in there.
Yeah, right. So Declan Rice, then. What are we saying about Declan Rice? I mean,
phenomenal, priceless.
He is priceless. He's irreplaceable. He's fast becoming one of the most spectacular players in the club. He's also fast becoming one of the most desirable midfielders in the world. By that, I'm not talking about his physical appearance, I'm talking about his game. I'm talking about his game. He's becoming one of the most desirable midfielders in the world. Bar none, really, because nobody is getting talked about as much as he is, mainly because the likes of players like, let's just say, Mason Mount, he's not going anywhere. Phil Foden, He's not going anywhere. Calvin Phillips may do if they get, relegated, but that's not likely to happen. I think Leeds is strong enough to stay in the division. They've had one or two, iffy games and dodgy results, but so have we. We're sitting fourth, and unfortunately, Leeds are sitting close to the relegation zone, I believe. I'm not sure exactly where they are. Hammerhead's saying that he's a winger. That Matt Phillips. Peach? Oh, he's gone. Right, okay, thanks for that, Hammerhead. Appreciate it, mate. So, yeah, I think that Declan Rice is fast becoming one of the most desirable players on the planet, midfielder anyway. There was an interesting stat about him a couple of weeks back that was released, and it just goes to show you the measure of the man that we have in our midst. And that stat is, where is it? It's here somewhere. I will find it. Bear with me. Maybe I won't then, because it's been removed. Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine, because I can remember it anyway. And the stat was that in 900 minutes of football, of Premiership football, in 900 minutes of Premiership football, Declan Rice was possessed once in 900 minutes. And does anybody in the chat know who that was that dispossessed him? I do. If you can tell me who it was, I'll give you a couple of minutes. Global Text, good evening. I know I've seen your name once or twice before. I think it's the first time I've actually spoken to you myself. But good evening, welcome to the chat. And he says Declan Rice is world class. Agreed, mate. And I would think that 100% of West Ham fans would agree with that. But then so would 95% of fans from other teams would agree that Declan Rice is world class. Hammerhead saying that Matt Phillips is a winger and he's 30 years old and he doesn't rate him. So I don't really know enough about Matt Phillips to know whether I actually do rate him or not.
I remember him being all right. Like, I remember him being okay.
Yeah. Okay,
but not stand out in the box. Oh, Hammerhead's in the building. Whee!
Yeah. Hammerhead's. So I said that that little statistic about Declan Rice, about him not being dispossessed for 900 minutes of football. I said, does anybody in the chat know who it was that dispossessed him? And Hammerhead's come up with the right answer. He said that one person who did dispossess him was Thomas Souček when we played the Czech Republic, I believe. Correct, Amundo. There was I thinking, when I first heard it, I sat there thinking, why the hell would he take the ball off Rice? He played with, they're playing the same team. And then somebody explained to me, oh, no, it was England versus the Czech Republic.
Yeah, but Epic Halftime got it under control. Phillips is the center back, and he's 24. So you guys said Matt Phillips. No, I said Nat Phillips, dog. N-A is my accent. I said Nat, N-A-T. Like Nat is in like a gnat, like a mosquito, like a get off of me. You're sucking my blood.
And I said Matt as in the thing that you might wipe your feet on at the door. And he is 24. Yes, you're right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Epic, thank you for that, sir. And Hammerhead said, I thought you guys said Matt Phillips. Me too. Don't worry, Hammerhead.
I didn't. I said
me
Nat.
and you both. Yeah.
It's in a
me
natter.
and you both.
Get off of me, natter. That's what I was saying. That.
Me and you both. Right. Okay. So, Peach.
Budgie's in the building. Budgie's in the building.
Let me ask you a question, sir.
What's up, man?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, if you had input into the starting 11 for Saturday, against Chelsea.
Yes.
How would you? And nobody's going to criticise this because this is a personal starting 11. So how would you like to see our side starting 11 on Saturday?
My side start. Are we playing at the London Stadium?
We are indeed. Yeah.
Okay, so Peach is going over to DJ Rusty B's house. Straight up, I'm going to meet Flo. I'm going to meet Joe. On the way to the ground, we're going to go by Duke's Pub. I'm going to check Duke, say what's up. We're going to go around. We're going to pick Andy Miles up. West Ham United. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Titch, we're going to go to Tootin real quick. Get Titch. We're going to go get you too. And then we're going to go... Well, we can't go to Brisbane and then come back, can we? No, that's too much. Kieran's gonna have to meet us there. And
Jesus, you'd have to have fucking Airwolf to do all this.
Well, I'm doing this. This is my day, guys. My day. I'm telling young JAK to the E to come down to the Stratford station. We'll pick him up, him and Richard up on the way. And then I'm gonna go to the ground and I'm gonna get the players in the dressing room. And when I say, listen, boys, you've been absolutely shit. The last few matches we've had, you think you're good, but you're not, because we are a top 4 club. We're not a top 5. We're not a top 6. We're a top blood clot 7th dog. We're not a top blood clot 7th dog. We're a top 4. So I'm going to say to them, Fabianski, go home. Ariola's taking your spot. I'm going to say, Johnson, well impressed with you, son. You get to keep your spot. I'm saying, Zuma, talk to Areola. Bonjour, bonjour. Okay, Zuma, you're in. I'm saying, Diop, talk to Areola. Je m'appelle. Happy Zuma and Isa Diop. You're all in. You're all in. Talk the same language. You're all in. On the right, Stu Fowl. You ain't been the same, dog. You ain't Thomas Repkin in disguise no more. I want you to go check Thomas Repkin in jail, get some pointers off this cat on how to become a real right back. Fredericks, you're in. Then I'm going to say, Crawl, talk to Suchek, however they talk. Suchek, talk to Crawl, however they talk. Declan Rice is just magnificent. He can talk any language in the world. They all talk. Those 3 are in. Then I'm going to say, Antonio, you still have that Lamborghini and that Frosty the Snowman suit? Yeah? Go put the Frosty the Snowman suit on, piss off, get in your Lamborghini, have a day out today. Go
and
to Brighton Beach.
Don't stop till you get to Montego Bay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to say, Vlasic, we spent 30 million on you. What are you dealing with? Show us something. Show us like 10 million out of that 30 million. Show us something. You ain't showed us shit. You're starting up front. Then I'm going to say, Benrahma, I like you. I like you, Benrahma. You take on a player. You got skills. You're not afraid. You're in there. Then I'm going to say, okay, now it comes down to 2. Bowen and Fornals. And I'm going to say, Bowen, how's Danny doing? He's going to tell me. I'm going to ask Fornals how his wife's doing. Have you seen his wife? His wife is fire. I'm going to say, oh, yeah, she's lovely, jubbly, man. So I'm going to say, Fornals, how's your wife doing? Good. Okay, out of 10, how's your relationship? Bowen, get gone. Go make Danny happy. Fornals, you're on the team. So you got Fornals, you got Benrahma, and you got Vlasic up front. That's my team. Boom.
Right. Boom. Okay. Confused? You will be.
I hope so. I tried to make it as confusing as possible, dog. Straight up.
Yeah, sorry, Darren, you are completely correct. He said in Hammeret's eyes, Lanzini is the most desirable midfielder in the world.
No, Lanzini comes on as a sub. Lanzini comes on as a sub. Noble comes on as a sub. Like these are players that have to play their role.
You're missing the point. I said that Declan Rice is probably the most desirable midfielder in the world for other clubs. And and Darren's saying no. In Hammerette's eyes, Lanzini's the most desirable midfielder.
Gotcha.
You know, well, she's got to. It's her husband, isn't it? You know, I mean, let's be fair. You know, right. So I made a comment on Titch's show earlier, and I'd like to see what anybody in the chat and what yourself, Pete, what you think of my comment. And my comment was, we were doing the ratings and Fornals came up, and I gave him an 8.5. Okay, now not purely on the game today.
So man, 100%.
I gave him an 8.5 because to me, the guy gives everything for that shirt. You know what I mean? He gives everything for it. You know, you can see the frustration on his face when all of his good work is undone by a lazy Antonio, or or a clumsy Antonio, or an indecisive Jared Bowen like he was today. I found him very indecisive today, Jared Bowen. He was quite frustrating for me.
Me too.
You know, he was quite frustrating, if I'm quite honest. But yeah, so you know, my comment was 8.5 for Fornals, and then I went on to say, I don't care what anyone else thinks. For me, Fornals is vice captain when Mark Noble retires. Declan Rice gets captaincy.
I hear that.
And I think Fornals, because we've all grown to love him, haven't we? Let's be fair. You know, we've all grown to love him. I don't really hear too many negative comments about him, and if I do, it's usually just based upon the performance on the day. It's not. I don't think I've heard anybody say Fornals is shit, we should sell him.
No way.
I've heard anyone say that.
No way.
You know.
No way.
And you know, when we first got him, I don't know how it happened, but I was at work. I was on the roof, and we were putting up like pigeon spikes, stop pigeons from landing. And I'm sitting on the roof. I've got one leg either side of the bloody ridge of the roof, and I'm basically sitting on it like I'm riding an horse. You know what I mean? Anyway, so my phone bleeps. So I gets my phone out of my pocket, and I've looked at it, and it said, "Oh, welcome to West Ham, Pablo Fornals." And then it went on to say about Pablo Fornals, welcome to West Ham. So, and then it went on to say about how he was away with the Spanish under 21s at the World Cup and under 20s at the World Cup. And then I thought, oh, that's nice. We've got ourselves a decent young Spanish player by the look of things. And then a couple of days later, I noticed that I got in from work and I put the TV on, and I noticed on the guide that there was Spain under 20s versus Italy, and I believe.
I think I watched the same game. I think I watched that game, but he was operating on the left, wasn't he?
Yeah, he came on after about 38 minutes because there was an injury, and scored 2 goals.
Yeah, that was it.
Scored 2 goals. And, you know, from that moment on, I've worn his badge. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought to myself, you know, the boy got himself a decent contract here and then goes out and celebrates like that, you know, with a couple of goals. And I thought that was bloody beautiful. So for me, you know, I think Fornals is definitely vice captain material because of the way he loves the club and the way the club loves him. You know,
can I just I have to budgie I have to. It was Oxford away. It was either the FA Cup or it was the League Cup. It was one of the two.
Yeah,
and we lost. We lost, man, and we shouldn't have lost against Oxford, man, and we lost.
No way.
Every player on the team Like, remember Del Boy used to say, like, ducking and diving, like, just like getting out the way, ducking and diving. Every one of the players ducking and diving straight to the dressing room. Ducking and diving straight to the dressing room. What does Fornals do? Fornals looks at the away end, goes up to the away end by himself. This is a man who just came from Spain, dealing with like a bunch of like what I'd say 5,000-10,000 angry Cockneys, dog. And he went up and he just went like I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And he was the only person that did that. Once he did that, I was like, you are in my good books for the rest of your life.
Yeah, man.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
You start to wear the man's badge. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, and that's what you were saying, wasn't it? That's what you were saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Go on, buddy.
Well, yeah. Once the man touches your heart, that's it, man. You know that. Then you start. You've got him there because
it's the Ginger Pele syndrome, man. It's the Ginger Pele syndrome, man. I'm telling you.
And Lanzini's a very similar player for me. Now, I do take the piss when it comes to Hammerette and a fantasy of him. Let's just say, but it's all done in good taste and with with good humour. I do take the piss, and so does she actually. I mean, because now she's kind of heard all the jokes, you know what I mean, and she's kind of ready for them now, and it just makes it more fun that way. But I have to say though that in our current squad, Manu's in my top 5 of the players that I like.
Me too.
And that I would like us to keep. The players that I would like us to keep. Obviously, Declan number 1.
Yep.
I think Johnson number 2 for me.
Yeah.
Is of the players I want to keep. Like in order of importance, Declan's the most important.
Third, then, number 3. Come on, keep going.
Johnson,
I want to hear this.
Then number 3, Manu Lanzini. Pablo Fornals. Then Manu Lanzini, and then number 5, Thomas Souček. For me, they're the 5 players. I mean, you could put them in any order
who's the fifth? Hold on, who's the fifth? Who's the fifth?
Tommy Souček.
Yeah. See, you have to make it. You have to make it 6 though. You have to make it 6 because Zuma deserves to be in that crowd. Zuma deserves to be in that crowd.
I do get you, and like I said, today I'm waving 2 flags for Zuma. But
that's what I mean. Like Zuma has to be in that crowd,
all right. So if it's a top 6, then Zuma definitely gets in there. And people are going to say to me, oh, what about Ben Rama? What about Bowen? What about what's his name? Creswell. What about Fabian? Yeah, all fantastic, important players to West Ham United. But if someone came into the boardroom with, just bear with me 1 second, mate.
Yeah, I love that. Crush the pain and Wayne, dash it in a Rizla. You don't know.
No, my son came in the room. But for me, like the players that I would, literally fight tooth and nail to keep at my club, if I was Gold, Sullivan, or David Moyes, they're the 5 players, or 6 if you want to include Happy.
Yeah.
They're the 6 that I would definitely say, right, keep your fucking hands off. You even think about selling them, and you're going to get a smack in the eye, you bastard. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
Nobody in their right mind wants to sell Declan Rice. Nobody. Oh yes, the money would be lovely. Oh, like 180 of it, would be lovely. Because I wouldn't let him go for less than 180 right now. I'd make him the most important player in the world right now. Not most expensive, but the most important. So I'd put a massive price tag on him. But nobody wants to lose Declan Rice. And the way Ben Johnson's been playing, man.
Phenomenal.
I mean, come on.
Phenomenal.
I mean,
phenomenal.
I get this, Peach, right? I I am so happy with the way he's been brought on, and the way he's been handled, and the way he's performing, and the payback from both sides. You know, he's being paid back by getting first team starts. He's paying back by putting in performances worthy of a 5-year veteran in the Premiership.
Budgie,
you know
he
what I mean?
took Stufal's shirt. He took Stufal's shirt like, that shirt? That's my shirt. Come get it off of me. Like, and that's what I love to see. And you know what? He seems
that's what I mean, though. He's playing like a 5-year veteran of the Premiership.
100%.
The guy's only had something like 8 games.
That's what I'm saying. He's
only had something like 8 Premiership games.
That's right. But let me ask you this, Budgie. Let me ask you this. Doesn't he seem like, you know, when you got like a protege and like a sensei, right? Yeah. Don't you find that he abides and listens to every word that Moyes says, like how he wants him to be played on that pitch?
Yes.
Nuts, isn't it?
Now,
nuts.
To me, now I'm not comparing either the managers or the players. The only thing I'm comparing about them is the relationship they seem to have between the player and manager. With Johnson and David Moyes seems to be a very similar relationship to that of Sam Allardyce and Kevin Nolan.
Yeah, they had that, didn't they? They had that. Yes, they did. They had that. Yeah.
He brought Nolan to West Ham because Nolan wanted to play for him. You know, and if we were in the unfortunate position to lose David Moyes, I think that perhaps wherever he goes, he would tempt Johnson.
He's going to follow.
To come. Yeah. I think that Johnson may just be a little bit like that with him. That's all.
I believe that. I believe that. That was like your Carton Cole with Alan Kerbersley. Same thing. Yeah. That's like right. Trust me, man. It is. And they'll just follow. They will just follow. They will just follow. And when you can strike up that relationship, it's phenomenal because you got a player by your side always.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that analogy. That analogy gave me goosebumps, Budgie. That analogy gave me goosebumps because it's so true. It is so true.
I love to see that kind of relationship with manager and player as well. I mean, you know, like if you want to go back further and that, I mean, David Beckham and Alex Ferguson. I mean, that was almost like a father and son type relationship.
Well, the same as Giggs and Ferguson. Giggs didn't go anywhere. He was a one club man.
Yeah, Harry Redknapp and Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah.
Similar kind of relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He went on to Tottenham. Defoe went to Tottenham. He went to Portsmouth. Defoe went to Portsmouth. You know,
Portsmouth.
So you know, it's one. You know, that I like that because once a player shows loyalty to a manager, and the manager reciprocates that by giving him time on the pitch, you know, the opportunity to be captain for the day if the captain's off, or you know, or he's been rested or whatever. You know, those kinds of things. You know, those kinds of rewards. I mean, could you imagine what Johnson's face would be like if Declan was let's just say Declan was just to take a little tiny knock that's not going to put him out for long, right? Let's just say he gets a little knock, and they need to put maybe a stitch or two in his leg, right? Let's just say that, right? Because he's had a stud down his leg, so he's out for the rest of the game. So we're like 38, 40 minutes into the game, and unfortunately now we've got a sub Declan, right? Well, Noble's already retired, by this point. And like I said, I think Fornell should be the vice captain. But just imagine Johnson's face when, like, David Moyes is saying, right, okay, we've got a sub let's say we're putting on Alex Crowell because
no. You know what?
I'm just using a hypothetical situation.
I know, but you know who you're putting on? You know who you're putting on, and it would put a smile on Johnson's face when he comes back. Connor Coventry. That's who you'd be putting on. You'd be putting on Connor Coventry.
Well, that in an ideal world,
they grew up playing together, like Rice and Johnson and Connor Coventry and Johnson. They all played together.
But imagine this scenario though. Declan Rice has to come off the pitch.
You're being devil's advocate. I hear that.
And he takes off his armband and hands it to Johnson for the rest of the game.
Oh wow, that's big. That's big.
Could you imagine what that would do for Johnson's career right there?
Skyrocket.
Yeah, listen, right, I was only ever an amateur footballer. Yes, I did play at county league level, and I was reasonably good. You know, I weren't really that much of a goal scorer. I was more of a left midfield. So, you know, I was setting up goals. I had more assists than I did goals. So, you know.
Left fucking midfield going on Terry Butcher, you were, man. I can see it. I was more of a Paul Scholes, if I'm honest. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I see you as a Terry Butcher, like, I know he was centre half, but I see you getting stuck in like Roy Keane midfielder. Like, I see you like, I see you.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I had plenty of yellow cards in that as well.
Yeah, you had some bottle about you, dog. I could see you playing, man. I could see you playing.
But I hit the ball one time, right? The ball had gone into the box, and the keeper had put in a really good save that somebody had put in a low hard drive from just outside the 6-yard box. The keeper had gone down, got his foot, the bottom of his foot to the ball, and it had sent the ball up in the air and over the defence out towards midfield. I've watched the ball coming down. Now, it's kind of reminiscent of a goal I remember of Paul Scholes'. He did it a lot better than I did. He did it a lot better. I mean, I didn't score on this occasion.
He was a professional. Come on. So you can give yourself a break.
As the ball was coming down out of the sky, I was making a decision. Do I let it bounce and then wallop it? Or do I hit it on the volley? On the volley.
Yeah.
And I thought, do you know what? I'm better off hitting it on the half volley because I'll have more control over the direction of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I've let it come over, and I've stepped back a couple of feet, and I've let it come down to the ground, and I've hit this ball on the half volley, and probably one of the best strikes of the ball I ever did. This ball flew straight and true. The keeper just about managed to get his fingertips to it and put it onto the bar.
Oh.
And the ball hit the bar and fell to the floor and didn't bounce. It took all the air out of the ball.
Just
the bladder inside the ball must have popped or something, and the ball just hit the floor and just stayed there. And everybody was just looking at it, going, "Well, what do we do?" And I'm shouting, "Put it in the bloody net," you know what I mean? But so we had to get another ball for the game. But that was the only time, you know, I'd ever hit a ball like that, mate. If it had hit somebody in the face, it would have broke their jaw, definitely.
Oh yeah, easy. Those little put-ins back in the day, they were nuts. They were nuts. They were built like rockets, man.
Oh, but these were. You remember the first, like what I'm talking about, sort of. I don't know, the 1980s now.
Like after the pudding ball.
Yeah.
Like
you remember the lightweight Adidas ball that came out? It was the first one that I remember with
orange,
the long.
It had like orange and blue on it, kind of.
Yeah.
It was white, but it had like little outlines of like orange.
And there was also a white
shit.
one with. There was also a white one with black with. A yellowy stripe around it as well.
Yes.
It was one of them. It was like I think they called them Adidas panel or something. The ball was called. And it had like long, oblong but rounded off cornered shaped panels all over the ball. It was one of them, and obviously, you know, I don't know. There might have been a fault with the ball or anything. I don't know, but I did hit it fucking hard. I mean, somebody said to me, "Jesus, that must have been doing 100 mile an hour." I went, "I wouldn't have thought so." And he went, "Mate, you got to believe it. That hit the bar and sunk to the floor. It didn't bounce off the bar. It just hit it and dropped." Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was quite something. But you know, what I was going to say was, when I was playing football, like the biggest honour that I ever had was being called on a Saturday evening at about 9:15 in the evening. I was probably about 19 or 20 at the time.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call at about 9:15 in the evening, and it was my football coach. And he said to me, "What?" He said, "Are you working tomorrow, Clive?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm not. I'm actually on holiday this week. I'm not, you know, I'm not going into work at all this week." He said, "Oh, great." He said, "Can you come to, you know, my house? Can you come to my house and see me?" He said, "I've got something I want to discuss with you." So I went there the following morning, made me a cup of coffee, we sat in his kitchen, and he's telling me that Gillingham wanted to have a look at me, and Crystal Palace wanted to have a look at me. So I said, "Oh, that's really nice." You know, 19 years old. I thought, well, you know, why are they looking at the lower leagues? You know, I'm not young enough to go into the academy. Probably, you know, I probably wouldn't get a chance to play for the under-21s or anything. You know, why would they? You know, why would they be looking at me?
Yep.
Anyway, so he said to me, "Right, I'll arrange it. If you're not working this week, I'll arrange them both, the trials for this week." I said, "Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, cool." So I went to the first trial for Gillingham on the Wednesday afternoon at about 4:00, and went to the Crystal Palace one on the Thursday at about 9 in the morning. And on the Friday, I had my phone at home rang. My dad answered it and basically called me and said it was for me. It was Gillingham saying they wanted me to come back for a second trial.
Lovely.
About an hour or so later, my coach phoned me and said that Palace had phoned him and said that they wanted to see me again as well. And 3 days before I was due to go for my second trial with Crystal Palace, I went into competition in judo, because I used to do judo as well.
Yeah.
And I went into competition at Crystal Palace Sports Arena.
Yeah.
And ended up dislocating my hip.
Fucking hell.
Never played county football again after that either. I had to drop right down the leagues after that because I just wasn't fit enough after that. And that was at that 19 years old.
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, I loved playing football. I played right up until I was 51 years old, mate. I only gave up football 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I only gave up playing, you know, and it wasn't walking football and all that. I was playing with guys half my age, you know, but I didn't care. It was only a little Sunday league thing, and I was just enjoying myself, and you know, I was getting at least 45 minutes every week, so I really loved it.
That was like my father. My father. You ever heard of he had something to do with the England setup. His name was either Dickie Walker or Dickie Parker. I think it was Dickie Walker.
Okay.
You remember that name?
Not offhand. No.
Dickie Walker or Dickie Parker. And he had something to do with the England setup. And don't hold this against me and my family, but he became Spurs scout. And he scouted my father to go to White Hart Lane to have a cup of tea with him. And my father went there, had a cup of tea with them. He never quite made the squad, but it was nuts. He got asked to go to White Hart Lane, have a cup of tea with them, and he did. And then he was mates with Venables, and like he had like Dagnam looking at him. I forget who else, but he was playing in the Isthmian League. And like he had this team looking at him, that team looking at him. And he was like laughing off, like Dagenham, like the Daggers at the time. He was like, "No, I got tryouts with fucking Spurs. So why am I gonna like, you know, do the Dagenham thing?" Then I don't know, the Spurs thing fell through, and then Dagenham were like, "Fuck you." So it's like, yo, it all kind of like fell on his face. But football's a funny game because you can be right close to the door, and then you get into a judo match, or you get a call up to like try out for this team, and this team wants you. You're like, piss on you. This team wants me, and they're in a better position, going to pay me more money. I'm going to be looked after a lot more. So you give that to like the other team, and then when you don't get accepted by one team, then you go to the other team, and they're like, nah, it's too late. And it's like same with a judo injury. You're done for county football for good. If I could ask you one thing, you know how you said about like Johnson going everywhere that whatchamacallit goes, Moyes, right? And then it was the same thing with Nolan and Allardyce, same thing with Kirbysley and Cole. I know that Brian Clough had a lot of players that would follow him wherever he went. Who were some of the most important players that did follow him wherever he went?
Of them. Stuart Pearce was one of them.
Because apparently he was like the best coach.
Pearce, and like he loved him.
He was the one man who should have been the England manager but never was. And it's like that's what my dad says religiously.
Yeah. One moment, please, Peach. Kieran's in the house and he's saying, Peachy, Clive, just about to leave Tinkham Bay. Speak to you later. So, buddy, safe journey, man.
Drive home safe, my G. Drive home safe, my G.
If you're not driving, please restrict yourself to just 15 cans of or bottles of Victoria. All right, mate? Just don't go excessive.
Love it. We all love Kieran. We love Kieran. We do. We love Kieran. We do. We love Kieran. We do. Oh, Kieran, we love you. Straight up. What a man.
Mandy G's in the house.
See, that's Titch saying today. I ain't seen Mandy G for a while. I see Mandy G all the time on the different chats, dog. It's like, you can't expect her to like come in our chat like all the time, every day. It's like, she has a life too, dog. I pick up Mandy G. You know what I do for Mandy G? I do these things because she's always like, Peach, whenever I see you, I like to see you with your hat to the back. So I'm like, all right, done.
She says Walker went on to become coach to Dagenham and later joined Spurs as a scout.
That's who scouted my dad. Boom. There you go. There you go.
Oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. Hammerhead says Edward Richard Walker. Edward Richard Walker was an English footballer who played for West Ham. He was born in Hackney, London. Dick Walker's 3 decades association with West Ham began during the 1932-33 season. See, Hammerhead, that's why you get a spanner as well as your hammers. All right, mate?
Spanner as well as the hammer. How you mean? You're done.
We love that. Yeah. Thank you, Hammerhead.
Absolutely.
Playing for Beacon Tree Athletic on Sunday. Yeah. Hammerhead's playing for Beacon Tree Athletic on Sunday mornings.
If I was there, I'd come watch you. If I was there, I would come watch you, honestly.
Kill that. He's saying, this is a quote, I think, from from Wiki or something. He says, playing for Beacon Tree Athletic on a Sunday morning, Walker was spotted by a club scout and then given a trial.
Word.
So that's that. Oh, I've just pressed the wrong one. Mandy G says, hey, Peachy, past my bedtime. Well, babe, if you're going to bed, sweetheart, thank you for joining us.
Have a good night's
sleep.
Thank
you for your comments.
Trust me, man. Night. How you mean?
Yeah.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
The link is above it. Above what, Mandy? Let's see if there was any other comments I missed of yours.
I sent Ken the link, but I think he's going to sleep.
Yeah,
he's just about to leave Tinkham Bay, isn't it?
Yeah, he's going to be traveling, so it's a bit difficult to get.
Yeah, no, I don't want him on the phone traveling because, like, no, I don't want him to get into fender benders, like bus ups. No, thank you.
I don't know if it's him driving. Probably not. He'd probably be in the back of the car with Victoria, wouldn't he? And by
Yes.
Victoria, I mean Victoria Beer.
I know what you mean,
Mandy
Doc.
G says
I know what you
good
mean,
night.
Doc. I wasn't born yesterday, Doc. I know what you mean, Doc.
No. I was referring to the chat in case they weren't aware. Mandy G says good night, Peach.
Good night, Mandy G.
Good night, babe. Take care. Have a good time and a good night's rest. And thank you for joining us and for your contribution.
Could I have like, okay, go through your thing and then just give me like 2 minutes. But go on your thing. Say what you want to say.
That's the last one. That was the last one, man. You speak your piece.
Okay, so it went down like this. It went down like, hold up. No, we don't get there. That's the last one. That's the last. Whoa, hold up. So that's the last one.
Looks like Darren's leaving the room, so take care, Darren. He says
Peace
take
out,
care,
Darren.
all. Thank you, mate.
Be good, my friend.
Peace out, Darren. And catch up with you on the next one, buddy. Thank you so much for coming in, mate.
It's always a pleasure, Dad.
So it went down how? It went down how? I'll tell you how it went down. It went down like this. Look at your screen.
Oh my days. Okay. No, watch this. Honestly, Addis is going to be impressed. I swear to God. Okay, so watch this. Hold on. Addis is going to be actually impressed. He's has to do work today. Okay. Four now's corner. Beginning of the 28th minute, crossing, Lanzini hits the woodwork. End of the 28th minute, Antonio fluffs a flipping stupid shot. End of the 28th, Antonio fluffs a stupid second shot. 32 minutes, Bowen tried to fly like Superman and head the ball into the net when he did the dive thing. Back of the goal. No, not back of the goal. 33 minutes, Duffy McDuffer came on, praying he doesn't change the dynamic. Sanchez, last match, he got a clean sheet against Newcastle. They didn't even get a blood clot shot on target. 39th minute, what was it? There was a corner for Brighton. Dunk making an impact after he just came on already, really. 50th minute, who was it? Home something or other. 50th minute, 50th home game for David Moyes, 22-1, 49. No, 22-1, 49 loss? No, 22 loss, 49-1. Shut up, Adders. At London Stadium. Billy Blanco misses with his right foot. The cucaracha gave a corner away to Ben Rama, but he couldn't put it away. That's all I'm going on. That's it, done.
Is that your detailed notes from the game?
Yeah, I got tons like watch Charlito, and Charlito said, keep doing what we're doing. Goal all day long. Lallana was playing rugby against Dawson, then hit his chest. I went off, dog. I went off.
Yeah, sorry.
How are you doing, Albert?
I'm not bad. Sorry for later on. I was just quickly doing something for American Hammers and saw that you
nice
me and said to jump on. So I thought I'd quickly come in. I didn't realise you were packing up and leaving. So
no, we're not. We're not yet.
You know,
we haven't even suggested leaving yet.
Oh, okay.
So, welcome to the room, man. Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. How was your day today, man?
It was all right until 7:30, wasn't it? Honestly, I've just said it just then over on the American Hammer stuff. I really don't want to be the negative sort of Nancy in the room and be the pessimistic one that, I can call everybody out and, and I always give them the benefit of the doubt. But the last few games, my God, there's performances there that need a little bit of criticism. And I think it's just because I'm so used to the level that we have been at this season, and I'm almost coming to expect that level from some of these players that have put in some very, very good performances this year. But the front four at the moment are devoid of confidence. He brings Fornals off when you need those technical players in the game.
Yes.
Antonio ghosting for 90 minutes when realistically he should have been brought off, put Bowen up top, bring Lanzini on, and then the killer was just bringing Masuaku on. We fell into the trap of them bringing their best player in, Tariq Lamptey, on, And Masuaku just loses him for a split second. Dawson gets bullied by Mopai, and you know, you just saw it coming. And you know, listen, if Mopai is going to bully Dawson like that, Jesus Christ, what is Lukaku going to do to him on Saturday?
I know.
So yeah, it just you knew it was coming. That the more that game went on at 1-0, you just knew it was coming. And I will not accept. And again, I'm Moyes' staunchest supporter, and I do not want to be that negative person. But what I will not accept is conceding 70% possession to Brighton at home. We gave them so much respect, and they even had 10 minutes for the 10 men for the final 10 minutes.
What was that all about? Yeah,
just if that's our top four aspirations, the last few weeks, my God, that is just the West Ham of old, unfortunately. And it was not a nice watch tonight. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure you both have said much of the same. Saying the same.
Basically, mate. But you know, you say so much more eloquently than we do.
Well, I would hope that my uni degree would come in handy at one point.
Well, mate, there it is. There it is. Thousands of pounds not wasted. Yeah. No, that's great.
Even the system at points, and I think there was at times where clearly he looked to drop in to a 4-4-2 when we were defending and bring Benrahma and Bowen back, and then have Fornals and Antonio as the two pressing forward. But so many times, Lewis Dunn or even Duffy, when he came on, played that killer ball through into the middle of the park, and everybody almost converged on that point, which opened up the spaces for Cucurella on one side, Veltman and Lamptey at other points. And there you've just played directly into exactly what Graham Potter wants to do, which is exploiting the spaces down the left-hand side and the right-hand side.
Exactly,
that's what they're so good at. And
that's how he used to play as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And we've fallen directly into that trap. And like I said, the fact that his out was getting Masuaku on to cover Lamptey instead of maybe just bringing Diop on and putting Johnson out at left back to deal with for the last 10 minutes. I get you. Yeah, I get you. There's frustration there, isn't there? You know, and the thing is, you know, like really and truly, you know, we've got a fantastic manager in Moyes, and he rarely makes that bad a mistake, you know, a bigger mistake. But unfortunately, over the last couple of weeks, he's kind of, like I said to Peach earlier on, his tactics and his team selection has kind of stagnated, and he hasn't given us a chance to have that unpredictability that we had at the beginning of the season and at the latter stages of last season. You know, teams were struggling with us. You know, teams like Chelsea feared coming to play us, or feared us coming to play them. You know, and stuff like that. But you know, I say teams like Chelsea. I mean, like the supporters used to say, "Fucking hell, we don't really want to be facing West Ham this weekend." Jesus, have you seen how well they're doing? You know, now they're going, "Oh, actually, do you know what? We can see the chink in the armour now." Yeah,
and that chink in the armour is that rigid formation that he keeps putting out.
Yeah,
you know, he needs to switch things up a little.
This is exactly why for Chelsea I'd be going 3-4-3. And I think that's what we did so well when we played against Liverpool, because I think maybe they were expecting us to come out with a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
and he did the sensible thing of changing it at half time and showing that he had a bit of tactical nous to say, right, we're not getting into the game. Let's bring Fornals into the middle, and it gave him something different. But this 4-2-3-1 over the last few weeks is just, like you say, it's stagnated, and it has become so predictable. And other than set pieces where we are pretty much a handful, teams know what to expect from us now. And for me, again, it's personally, in my opinion, I saw this evening that people want to give Sonny Perkins a chance on Saturday, but you just end up with another Meepo or the Becker. I know you probably want him, Peach, but you just get another Meepo situation all again. I mean, that's not the kind of game that a youngster needs confidence-wise going into. You know, this is why we need somebody as a striker in January to push Antonio to say, when you are ghosting, which you have done for the last, 4 weeks almost. Well, the Leeds game was the last good game he had. That your place is up for grabs. You know, the same with Benrahma, who's been so poor recently.
Yeah.
You know, Lanzini's pressing, trying to get into the first team. We've spent so much money on Vlasic. Krau can't even get into the team. For me, I'd be throwing something different at Chelsea just to mix it up. And off of tonight's game, I think Soufal had a brilliant game. I'd be going Soufal, Diop, because for me, Dawson should not be getting bullied in the position that he was in by Mopai.
No.
I'd have Zuma, Cresswell if he's back at left centre back, and Johnson at left back, and Souček and Rice in midfield, and then maybe Lanzini, Fornals, and Bowen up top. Just something different. Just don't become that predictable team that will just throw the same things out every week. Because if we can't score from set pieces at the moment, we're not doing anything else, and it is just. It's a shame. It is a real shame.
Well, I mean,
it's time to pivot. It's time to pivot, innit? It's time to pivot. Like, we need to pivot. We need to change something. Something has to be done. We can't keep playing the way we're playing. Simple as. How you doing that?
What would you say? What would you say, Athers, to a front line like, for example? Oh, Peach, I'm going to have to put you on mute.
Well, I know you got those first.
Right. That's better. What would you say to a front line like something like not Ben Rama, Bowen, Lanzini, and Fornals?
I welcome it. I welcome it because I think. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, because I think that those three guys there would actually work quite well together. Although Ben Rama would also fit into that somewhere as well, or Bowen,
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Let me take him off of mute. There we go. Sorry, Peach. I had to put you on mute for a second there, mate. I think also, I think that Vlasic, as you said, he hasn't been used correctly yet. And I think that he's got a lot more to give than we've seen, obviously. But I think, he's got like this team mentality anyway already, where he doesn't seem to be overly bothered that he's not getting game time. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like when he's on the bench and that, and the camera pans over him or pans round to him or whatever, he doesn't look like he's sitting there, trying edging to get on. Yeah, he looks like he's quite calm. No, he cut mute again. Right. He kind of gets the team mentality, and he's accepting his place in the squad. But what he hasn't been able to do is he hasn't been able to show. No, it ain't happening yet. It ain't happening yet. He hasn't been able to show why he was 30 million quid.
Yeah, I think as well, this is the problem. What I really bothered me the last week was the fact that he had such a good game, I thought, against Rapid. He actually showed a bit. He had the assist. Now was the time to sort of try and give him a bit more game time. Listen, I know Lanzini's been pushing as well, and he deserves a start against Chelsea because he's been fantastic the last couple of weeks, especially when he's come off the bench. But I think the main thing for me with Vlasic is that he continually plays him down the left-hand side when that is not his natural position. His natural position
what is his natural position, like number 10?
Yeah, just in behind the striker, being a bullish number 10. And so far, he's been forced out to that left-hand side, but clearly he's not comfortable enough to be played. But when you said there about would you change it up and have the likes of Lanzini, Bowen and Fornals in there, I would exactly do that. For me, this evening, the fact that he took Fornals off is an absolute farce, because the technical players that you want in that moment of the game are the likes of Fornals, the likes of Lanzini, who are going to keep possession and a little bit of game management. But the fact that he took Fornals off just said to me, when he went off, and James actually made a good point on American Amazon, he said he dropped the bollock at that point, because I think it is exactly what he did. He needed some technical players on just to hold the ball up, keep a bit of possession, and he just didn't do it. And there has to be, he cannot stay as rigid as he has and keep that same formation, because I would be shocked and a little bit annoyed. I mean, it will be typical of us now to go and beat Chelsea 1-0 and, we'll all be happy again next week. She's only saying that because that's her shirt that I'm wearing, but it's a male shirt. But he cannot keep going to the same well every time. And like I said, this is why we need say just Lingard, but another striker in January, a left back, to start pushing some of these players to say your position is not solidified every single week, because we know what his favourite starting 11 is, and unfortunately teams are working us out, and other than set pieces at the moment, we have got absolutely nothing to offer going forward, and it is such a shame, and that's why I think I'm so annoyed tonight, is because I am the first person to give the benefit of the doubt every single time, but there has to come a point when you take a look and you say something is not working. I thought that the wake-up call would have been against Watford because of how well we played, and we'd set a level and we were way underneath that day. Man City, fair enough, as a free hit. I'm not getting overexcited about that, but I thought we defended very well.
You mean Wolves? You meant Wolves, not Watford, yeah?
Yeah, Wolves, sorry, not Watford, yeah. And City was a free hit. But
I'll tell you, Adders, I'll tell you that Liverpool result now is looking like really good, because we needed that after losing against like who we lost, like Wolves and Man City. That Liverpool result's looking really good, and now we need to change things, because I understand Moyes is going with this like Red Bull model. Let them have all the possession. We'll get you on the counter, but it's time to change things up. We have to, because like you said, they're figuring us out.
But that's all well and good. I don't mind if you're going to sit off. Fair enough, and you let the other team have the ball for
the whole game, like for the whole match,
but,
for the whole
match. No. But I don't mean having it for the whole match. Like I'll allow you to come onto us, but as long as you're counter-attacking with some potency and you look like you actually put the ball in the back of the net, which you've just not done recently. And like I said, that's the one thing I cannot accept tonight, is the fact that you've allowed Brighton 70% possession at home and let them dominate the last 10 minutes when they got 10 fecking men on the pitch.
We don't have a forward line, Others. We don't have a front line. We do not have a front line.
Not now, we don't. I don't know what is
changed
between the first, that international break has screwed us, because it completely derailed the momentum almost that we got after the Liverpool game, and it has just sent us spinning.
Have you got a striker in mind that you'd like to see come in?
Tony.
Well,
Tony or Origi.
Unfortunately, Tony isn't going to be available in January. As much as I want
him.
I
know. I can dream, though. I can dream.
And I wish I would find the old videos that I used to do over on Hammer's Chat 3 or 4 years ago, before he had the season at Brentford, at Peterborough, sorry. I had a friend who's a Peterborough fan who lives in Peterborough. And when they took him, and he was like, I've seen this kid in pre-season. He's got everything. And I was like, I really want him, because I thought he was very similar to Antonio in his build. If he's a long-term plan in the summer, fine, go look to spend some money on him. But if we want somebody very similar to Antonio, but actually looks like he gives a toss every time he gets the ball, maybe Origi is the man, although I think that Liverpool are very notorious for trying to get a lot of players for their money, especially in January. Belotti is a shout. 6 months left on his contract. Big bullet striker. The thing is, I'm not too bothered, as long as it is somebody that knows where to put the ball in the back of the net and can actually just push Mikel Antonio to say, right, you're not going to start week in, week out.
Yes.
That's all I want. I cannot be dealing with another winger being bought. The idea of converting them into a striker. I cannot keep going through that. We need an out-and-out striker at the club.
No,
which is why
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think that maybe Vlasic may even be able to adapt up front, but it's not his natural position.
Yeah,
it's not his natural position, I know, but he is, as you said, more of a central player anyway. So maybe that would be an easier transition. So do you know what I mean? So like if we were to play the 3-4. What is it? The 3-4-2-1 or whatever it was. With like Vlasic up front, and then you have a couple of guys like you'd have either Ben Rama and Bowen, or even Lanzini and Fornals. I mean, you could, if he was able to play in that position, or if he was tested out in that position and he showed some aptitude for it, then that might be, our short-term fix between now and Christmas, or between now and January.
I don't.
Do you know what I mean? Using Vlasic.
I was going to say, he clearly must have pissed you off tonight, because I don't like the way you're waving them scissors about. It's a very threatening waving of the scissors.
No. I fiddle with shit when I've got shit on my table here, and I couldn't fiddle with that. But no, I think Antonio for me was very, very poor tonight, and he's been poor for I would probably say longer than 5 weeks. But you were right. He had a reasonable game at the Leeds game. There was nothing wrong with him really that day. He could have been a little more clinical, but then the same could be said for every game he played. Yeah, I think the only game where he's played where you wouldn't say he could be more clinical was against Norwich a couple of seasons back, when he got 4 in a game.
Yeah.
When we beat him 4-0, wasn't it? I think that was probably his most clinical performance to date. Don't get me wrong. When he's on song, most defences would be going, "Fuck no, please don't let him come at us." You know, but because of his performances over the last few weeks, I actually believe that defences are going, "Oh, it's all right, we can handle him." Look,
that's the thing. I think when he gets, it seems to get more and more tired and more laboured. I think, for me, I want to see, and I know it's not possible because he's not the fittest of people, and we have to sort of hold our expectations that he's not going to be Antonio that we want him to be every single game. The least I expect to see from him is like that Spurs game. I did actually think he had an all right game against Spurs, because what he did do, he got his goal, fair enough, but he was bullying the centre halves. He was throwing Romero to the floor. He was doing that. When he's bullish, Antonio, defences don't want to touch him. Tonight, he just looked good. He looked disinterested. He just looked like he didn't want it. And that for me is And I know it's a lot to ask of him, especially because we are obviously only one striker at the club, but you can tell when Antonio is up for a game, if he's throwing defenders around, if he's backing in, if he's making himself a nuisance, you know that you're at least going to get some form of effort from him. But tonight and too many times in the last.
I mean, he's been hesitant on the shot for a little while as well, hasn't he?
Which surprises me though, because of how well he was. He was so clinical. I mean, like that Newcastle game when he scored and he smashed one past the keeper, and is that like he was so good those first few weeks of the season. Why he should be hesitant now, I don't understand. You've just scored an absolute screamer for Jamaica.
Probably the best goal he's ever scored in his life.
And ever will frigging score. But, it's just like, we're not asking a lot of you, Mick. Do you know what I mean?
No, just do your fucking job.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem, is that at times that the fans, unfortunately, are willing to give him a free pass, because of the performances he's put in, but he needs to be held accountable, and he needs to be able to say,
of course,
you've not.
I mean, there's an old saying, isn't there? Nobody is above the law, and surely
apart
he can't be our robotic centre midfielder, yes, of course.
Jesus, he was good.
By robotic, what I mean is that it ain't easy to break him down. Do you know what I mean? He don't break down too often, does he?
Brilliant.
But great, brilliant performance. Man of the match performance. For me, he was a 9 out of 10. A lot of people did give him a 10. The only reason I didn't give him a 10, like I said to Peach earlier, is that whatever rating I would have given any player, every single one of them would have had 1 point taken off of them because of the team performance, the whole group. As a group, we didn't play well. Individually, we had a few good performances, or a few decent performances, not necessarily great ones, but a few decent performances.
Were good.
Yeah, Declan Rice, and Johnson, I thought he was exceptionally good today. Well, not exceptionally good, but there were no mistakes from him. He's still young. There's still time for him to grow. But he seems to have cemented himself down that right channel now, which is brilliant. He's kind of, he's creating his own groove down there now, isn't he? But so he went out onto the left today. I thought he performed admirably. I wouldn't have minded even seeing Souček out there, if I'm honest, because when he came on against City the other day, he did exactly that, didn't he? He put him on instead of Creswell. And I felt that he had a good game then as well. So, I think Johnson is probably going to be a player to watch this season and next as well. Like by a player to watch in his development, and also you watch the price tag going up.
Yeah,
you know, you're going to see a few inquiries about him and stuff like that. You know, because he is that good a player. I mean, somebody else said it, and I can't remember who it was. It could have been Peach, it could have been Kieran, or it could have been Titch. But one of them said to me, it kind of reminiscent, and even though the surname's the same, they're not related, as we know. But he kind of, his career is kind of going reminiscent with Glenn Johnson. Yeah, exactly that. And it's going a similar kind of way, and he's having that kind of an impact on the game, you know, that Glenn Johnson had. And it's nice that, you know, he's keeping his head. Do you know what I mean? A lot of these younger players, when they do start breaking into the first team and that, you start seeing, and excuse the pun, you start seeing like random performances out of them. And you know, you just don't need that from a young lad that's so good. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's probably one of the reasons why, you know, players like, and I'm probably not going to be very popular for this, but I think that's probably one of the reasons why players like Connor Coventry gets loaned out quite so often, because I don't think he's got quite the finish. He's not quite the finishing article that Moyes or any of the other managers have actually looked for. Yeah, he kind of
it's a lot like Josh Cullen, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's that?
Coventry. His career is going a similar way to Josh. You know, but I think we've got an exceptional youth development program going on at the moment.
My best it's been in donkey's years.
You're right.
You know, again, now we can be proud to say it's the Academy of Football again. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, like, okay, Sonny Perkins, we all know a little bit about him now.
I'd love to see Arco Flex, Fudgy. I'd love to see Arco Flex.
Me too, because I think that Kitty is going to be a brute. I think he'll be a brute.
I think I'd have like sweet dreams at night, like if I seen Arco Flex, man, because I think he's just a talent. I saw him play. He played for Celtic, didn't he?
Yeah, he played
last
Celtic,
year. Yeah, and some of the footage, holy crow! You should see this guy. He's like, what? Like,
it's the same for a few of them, though. You know, Lacey, Baptiste.
Yes,
Ashby
looks good.
Perkins, obviously, Meepo when he was last year, and Nang is out on loan. A great season for Stevenage.
And we seem to have a really good under-23 goalkeeper as well. What's his name? Haji,
Haji, isn't it?
Haji, mate, I've had a look at him on a couple of YouTube videos and that. And, you know, the two things that you want from a goalkeeper, one is command your box, and two is never get bullied. And do you know something? I've watched him. He does command his box. He doesn't get bullied. And do you know what? I think he is potentially going to be brought up into the main squad, and, you know, and shown the ropes. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of potential.
Is that any?
No. Hayaji or whatever his name. Haji or I can't remember his blinking name. Heggy. That's it.
If
good goalkeeper.
If it's Haji, I'll have him. He'll give us some creative attack.
Yeah, cool, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Why could he add 32 for the number 10 role? Straight up. Sort it all out. Jack Wilson, straight up.
Last thing I say on tonight as well, though, is I think the one thing that bothered me as well was the fact that in that Wolves game, that midfield was overrun, and we thought we would probably get away with it. And Neves and flipping Moutinho, it looked silly, really. And the same thing happened again tonight. And, you know, I look at Krau sometimes, I just think, what has he got to do to just get some minutes on the pitch? The substitutions for me tonight would have been Krau, it would have been Lanzini, and I would have maybe Diop if you really wanted to shore a game out. Those were the 3 subs that you would have gone for. And I think, unfortunately, I think in making that Masuaku sub and bringing Fornals off has lost us that game. Well, it feels like a loss almost. But yeah, we're just not at the races tonight, and we've paid the price for it. But no, the youth. Sorry, go on.
No, go on. No, you carry on. You still talking. Sorry, my
sorry. And I was going to say, but to what you were saying, I mean, there's a reason why those youth teams are getting as many wins in the top of the league in the Premier League 2 or the 23s or the 18s and whatnot. We have some serious talent. And thankfully, Moyes has shown that he's not afraid to give some of those boys a go. I think he's given, 11, 12 first-team debuts or something since he's been back at the club. Which is very, 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 very good. And, hopefully
it's refreshing for us guys out here as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's refreshing to know that A, we've got a decent youth program. B, they're performing out of their skin in their respective leagues, and C, our current manager sees the benefits of giving them their debuts and giving them a little bit of the Premiership experience so that they can move on in their respective squads, so and he does it, A, to give them a chance and to see if he can use them, and obviously B, to give them the experience to go back to their own group, their age group, if you like, or whatever, and take that little bit of experience back with them. It's all going to be excitement for the first few days, and then once everybody's heard the story and how he felt about it and so on and so forth, then the actual lesson from that experience will come out of him.
The thing is,
and that will be beneficial to the guys around him. Yeah, go on.
The thing is, and this is what the top managers do so well at. Listen, I'm sure Tuchel never would have thought that Chalobah would have panned out as well as he'd done this season, but you don't know unless you try. There was a kid the same for City when they played away at Club Brugge in the Champions League, and he come off the bench and made his debut and scored, and then he played him the following week in the Premier League. And you don't know if you don't try with some of these players. Fair enough, some have come in the last couple of years. Mipo may have not been ready for first team action. He couldn't stop scoring, obviously, for the 23s, but just like you say, a little bit of time. And I think that was the same with Johnson, because he was never just thrust in. Other than the game that he started away at Man City when he got his debut, he was held back for a bit before he let him off the leash. So as long as
I remember him coming on for about 90 seconds or something. He brought him on for. Wait that little bit of time.
The problem is when you do give the youngsters too much of a leash, like in Gakia, who we saw, and he was brilliant at times, but you give them too much of a leash straight away, and then they get way above their station and pay grade. And it was the same with Rice. Like, you've got to learn to be, if you do stupid things, you're going to get dragged for it. And I remember, when he first came in, Bilic was very keen to keep pulling him back because he wasn't doing what he wanted him to do. And it was the same with Pellegrini. He kept pulling him back at times. I remember at the Liverpool game, he got subbed at half-time and we were 3-0 down the first game of the season. When this first season we signed Anderson and Allaire, etc. So as long as, and I think Krasinski or whatever he's called, he said that well in his thing. He said, I don't want to spend massive amounts of money because I do want to keep that youth system intact the right way and instead of spending loads of money. And I think we're slowly beginning to see some of that. I would like to see, though, in the next few weeks, just maybe a couple of them, even if it's just in training or something, just even if they know they're not going to get the game time, but just show something to the manager to just say, like, Mickey, Benrahma, you need to pull your finger out your arse here because otherwise you are going to start losing some minutes.
You got these young boys here itching to go.
Well, you look at Perkins when he came on against Thingy, he was bang straight in, nearly scored his goal. He was pressing from the front. That
header was incredibly good, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he had to contort his body to get it back to get the power on it.
Exactly that. And all right, okay, people said, oh, he could have done better with the directing the header. Mate, listen, that boy got up there, he got his head to the ball, he got it on target, made the keeper make a save. You can't ask no more.
It's the same thing.
The boy's debut. He's 17 years old. You know.
When Dan Jesters came on as well, it was like he was straight. There was 4 minutes left of the game, and he was pressing like it was. We needed a goal to get. Exactly. And that's the thing. He's fear when they come in that they're gonna go and attack the ball and try to impress the manager. Sometimes,
the
thing is,
I mean, sorry, and Sonny D, what's his name? Perkins.
Yeah.
When his first touch of the ball, that's what Peach calls him.
I know, Sonny D.
His first touch of the ball was the header, if I'm correct in believing.
Yep.
And then I noticed that from the moment his feet touched the ground again, after he'd gone up for that header, once he'd realised, obviously, it hadn't gone in and that, and he'd got over his, it didn't go in. The next thing, his feet were doing 100 miles an hour to get back into the play.
To the defense, defensively as well, he ran him.
Yeah, and although he didn't actually chase the ball, what he did was he covered the play. Do you know what I mean? He covered the play. So where the ball went, he covered. Like he saw a man in space, he went and covered it. You know, or if the ball came anywhere near him, he went in to challenge for it. He didn't wait for the ball to come to him. He, you know, what I mean, and he did. Yeah, it was all training ground stuff.
Yeah,
and it worked. It really worked.
Is, I think for me, and I really don't want to look at Chelsea as a free hit because I think they can be got at. Both their fullbacks, Reece James supposedly not going to be fit for the weekend. Chilwell's just gone out. You've got Azpilicueta and Alonso, who are not the fastest there. Yes, the centre halves are world class at the moment, but I think they're there to be got at. And I'll always remember Marcus Rashford a couple of years ago against Arsenal, and nobody knew whether or not he was ready for first team football. Threw him in, 2 goals in his debut. Next game in Europa League, 2 goals. Away he goes, and he carved out an incredible career at this point, and look how well he's done. Sometimes, even if it is, he sees it as a free hit or something, even if you play Perkins this weekend, which I don't realistically want him to do, but sometimes you just have to just trust your gut that maybe he will do something. And I can tell you, if Perkins did play, which again, I don't think he will, but if he did, you know, he'd be on it from minute one and he'd be doing absolutely everything to make an impression in that game. Exactly like Rashford.
So that he gets another game.
Exactly. That's what they want to do. And like I said, I saw more in 20 minutes against Vienna the other week from Perkins that I have done it from Antonio in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised or disappointed if Perkins started against Zagreb.
Yeah, that's what I want that to happen. By the way, that's
I was actually supposed to be going to that game, but unfortunately, things have turned out that the person I was going to go with can't go, etc., etc. So I'm going to see if I can get myself another ticket. They're only about 30 quid, aren't they, on the night or on the day? So I'm going to see if I can get myself another ticket for that game because I'm hoping that he does play 1 or 2 of the youngsters. You know, this game literally is a free hit for us.
Yeah.
You know, we've got nothing to prove. We don't have to get points. Or we can go out there as if it's a training game, realistically. And you know, if he wanted to, he could field like 11 youth players because you're allowed to have 11 on your list, aren't you?
Yeah.
As long as they're all registered. But you know, realistically, he could start with like under 23 squad if he wanted to. You know, for that game because it, you know, really wouldn't make an awful lot of difference. And I actually believe that under 23s could win that game.
Yeah.
You know?
Current form.
Yeah. I mean, they're incredible.
You don't know with some of those youth players unless you do give them that chance, is all I'd say. And I think Rashford was probably, in terms of the most recent one, where they went, right, we're a bit of a crisis here. Let's just chuck him in, see how he does. And the rest was history. Maybe he would have waited 2-3 years and he'd eventually become that player, but you don't know. And like I said, I don't necessarily think he would do it, but I want, even if it was just between now and up until the point of signing a striker in January, just to make Mikel Antonio think your place is not there for you.
Would you be happy if we were to sign somebody like Josh King, for example?
No, I don't want Josh King. I think he's overrated. I really do. I don't know. Maybe you guys think different, but I think he's overrated.
To be fair, he's actually doing quite well at Watford at the moment. I'd say that much.
He's not doing bad. He's not doing bad. Don't get me wrong. He's not doing bad, but I think there are better strikers in the game right now who we could go after. Like the one guy that really does my head in is the young player for Fulham, Carvalho. He does my head in. Like I don't know what it is, but he just has that. He has that knack for goal. And I know he's not in the Premier League, and I know it's like a step up, but I like to see him given that step up, see what he can do.
I'm a little bit wary of dipping into the Championship because, I know
and I understand fans, that. I respect that. I respect that. Yeah.
The lesser known players, but I'm a little bit worried that some of our fans will be going, oh, maybe we could prize Mitrovic out of Fulham or something like that. Yeah. And players that have actually played at the top level and they've shown that they can't do it. But then in the Championship, they'll score 25 to 30 goals a season, So
okay. So let me put this out. Let me put this out, Anders, because you play FIFA. You probably know more about. No. I'm not being funny when I say that. That sounded sarcastic, and I wasn't being. But no, you play FIFA, guys. And I played FIFA too. And when you play FIFA, and when you do like fantasy, like football and that, you develop a knowing of this player, that player, this player, like players who aren't even in your league. You know, especially in FIFA, right? What is the lowdown? Because I think you're the best person to ask this. What is the lowdown on Bayo? Bayo. What's the lowdown? Is he that good?
Bio, which one?
I don't know. We're after him. We were after him in the summer. We're going to be after him in January. His name's Bayo or Bio. Bayo.
Hang on, let me have a look. Let's see if it brings any.
We're after him. I forget what team he plays for the life of me, but we're after him. And apparently he's supposed to be the bee's knees, man. And he's similar to Antonio. You know who I wasn't impressed with? I wasn't impressed with that gang striker, Aniacho, or whatever his name is.
Oh, actually, no, he's a big.
I wasn't impressed. No, I wasn't impressed with him. Not at all. Have a look out Bayo. Bayo.
Oh yeah, Mohamed Bayo.
That's it, isn't it?
To be honest with you, never heard of him.
I know, but he's actually said. He's actually said he wants to come to West Ham. Like, he hasn't put in a transfer request or anything, but he said to, like, his manager and agent, I want to go to West Ham. Like, those words have come out his mouth. I want to go to West Ham.
A little bit worried about taking a gamble on someone like that. That's the only thing.
What do his stats look like, though? What do his stats look like? Where do his strengths lie? Because they say he's very similar to Antonio.
Yeah, I've just seen there he's got like 4 goals and 3 assists or something this season. But again, he's playing for Claremont, who aren't exactly one of the greatest league sides in the world.
Yeah, that's the boy.
What about Timo Werner?
No.
But we've got 70 million quid to spend on somebody that can't hit a fucking cow's ass with a banjo.
No. That's like that's like Yarmolenko, that's like Yarmolenko in a pimped up MTV video. Dad, no way.
No way. At Chelsea, he isn't doing great. But before he came to Chelsea,
if it was a light,
he was the top scorer in the Bundesliga, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So was Torres. They did shit at Chelsea.
If it was the Leipzig Timo Werner, he should be terrorising defences every single week. But I think the one for me that I was absolutely gutted for was Hwang Hee-chan. Not just because I followed this guy since he was at Salzburg, and I just absolutely loved watching him play. And I thought he's the perfect one for us. What he does, he's got a bit of pace. He looks to bring others into the game. Liverpool and City are now interested in him as well. It just made so much sense, especially for the fact they were going loan with an obligation to buy, which was like €12 million or something like that. Yeah. Just perfect sense to me. But there's a few. I'd be loath to go abroad. This is the thing, because sometimes when you do go abroad, especially midway during the season, if you're looking for somebody that's scoring goals, that they will cost a lot more money than if you would try maybe in the summer or something. And this is why January is such a difficult one, because teams will increase the price on certain players. Yeah. And that's why I'm a bit nervous about going for Origi from Liverpool, because I think they'll turn around and go, right, we want 20 to 25 million for him.
Sky high. Do you remember on Hammer's Chat, there was a boy from South America, and it's when we had Felipe Anderson, and he was like, Felipe Anderson is shit. We have players that are half the price of him. I think his name was Daniel Costa, and he was on the live chat on Hammer's Chat, and he put in a video, I think it was on the forum with Gonzo, and he said, like, Anderson is shit. You can buy a player half his price who's better. South America has so many strikers available for like cut prices. Why don't we dwell into that market? Like,
the slightly special.
Am I going loony, or like am I making sense? I listened to this kid, and I think I related with him.
But I think that's the thing, though. Wherever you look, there's always, untapped talent that's going about for cut prices if you do well enough. But I don't know where we go in January. But what I do know is that we do desperately, obviously, just need somebody that knows where the goal is.
I'll tell you where we should go in January: Africa.
I wouldn't put that by. I wouldn't. Yeah, but I know, and that lasts for like a month or so. But
so what? You're telling me you wouldn't want the next Didier Drogba at West Ham then?
No, I would. Like, I wouldn't pass that up. Is what I'm saying. I wouldn't pass that up.
If they're good enough, they'll be at the African Cup of Nations, which is a bit of
but they might just be on the come up. They might just be on the come up. Like, apparently the French league is like dire for dollars right now. So like we could get some players there. Like they're around. They're around. We just have to. And those are my favorite players. Like, I hate saying his name, but when we got Payet, all we knew is that he got the most assists and he was kind of like a no-name. That was the best. Like, when we got him and he turned into like Pele, like scoring goals left, right, center, I was like, oh my days, this guy's nuts. Turned into a snake.
Global Text has said, Tony, there's no way that Brentford would part from him for more than 45 million.
What about Howard-Sack? Howard-Sack was tidy from technical.
The only problem I've got with Howard-Sack there is that I think he's young, yes. Great reputation, fantastic, one for the future. But I want somebody that's going to come in straight away, that's going to
give us 10 goals before the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying Howard-Sack couldn't do that, but I would want somebody that maybe knows the Premier League and can. That's
exactly my thought as well.
And listen, I'm not against this Howard-Sack, because by all accounts, fantastic, player. The links with Krasinski are there, and Barca and a few others are interested. Great, one for the future. But I need somebody that's going to, from day dot, is going to push Antonio for a starting place.
It makes sense, man.
But the reason I said about us going to Africa to find players, the reason I said that is because that shop window opens at the same time as the transfer window opens. The African Cup of Nations starts in January.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
So we need to have our man Rob Newman out there. That's what we need. That's what we need, him and a team of guys out there having a look at them players, because it's honestly,
we got another boy too. We got another boy too.
Hotbed. It's a hotbed of talent in Africa. My sister lives in Ghana.
I think they pinpointed a few. I think we're going to be in for a surprise, boys. I think they pinpointed a few. I think who is it? It's Newman and it's Santos or something like that. Then there's a goalie coach, or a goalie something or other. I think we're in for a surprise with this Santos and Newman. I think he came from Man City. He didn't do a bad job in Man City. Like, Bernard Silva ain't a bad player. Like, Gundogan ain't a bad player. Like, this man.
And I found out that because I was sort of dubious about why would he leave Man City to come to West Ham. Like Six explained it to me, it was a promotion. The job that he has at West Ham, not only is it more valuable to him financially, but it's a promotion in the ranks.
So I didn't know that.
He's moving upwards. Yeah, that's what Chip told me the other day. So
that's good. He has something to prove then. He has something to prove. He's going to be on one's place. Let's go.
But that kind of satisfied my fears that he'd come to us for money.
No, me too.
And money only. Do you know what I mean? But
if money wasn't a thing,
100,
make no bones about it. Ivan Toney is my main target. That is in the summer. In the summer, I would like us to push and test Brentford, because I think Brentford, they work on the Moneyball aspect. So if you do offer them a good price, they'll take it and they'll just go and reinvest that money into somebody else.
Well, look how important Ben Rama was to them before we
exactly. But they were quite. But Brentford are the team. If you come forward like Ollie Watkins and Ben Rama, you give us the price we put on the head, we'll quite happily sell them to you, because that's how they work. They did do it like that. So
see, that's somebody we 100%. Missed out on.
No, victim.
Don't.
Yeah, we did. And that Ezzy guy, we missed out on that Ezzy guy. That Ezzy guy, that was David Moyes' first pick, and Sullivan just acted like a complete and utter, I don't know, Care Bear, stupid idiot.
What about Eddie Nketiah? Arsenal.
Thank you.
Not a problem with him either.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to think in my head of teams that have got strikers that know
players that we were after,
from the Prem that know where to
put the
ball.
Yeah, and someone who don't get regular football that I reckon we should make a cheeky bid for. But the only thing is that would they sell to us? Is Firmino. I'd love to go to Firmino.
Oh wow, that would be nuts, dog. That would be nuts. That's like caviar, though, isn't it?
What would he cost? About 65.
Caviar money, dog. That's Oprah Winfrey money, dog.
See, I think we should be targeting players, and again, you may call me daft for this, but someone like, and I know again I'm going to be very unpopular for saying something like this, Timu Pukki, right? I'm just saying.
No, I'm down with that. I'm down with that at Bamford. I'm down with that at Bamford, dog. How do you mean? Good stuff.
I want someone that is not going to cost an arm and a leg that can do something in this team. And what are Norwich going to realistically want from 15 to 20 million? Is that worth? And I know it's not going to happen. I know it's not. But these are the kind of players that I want, that have shown that they can score in the Premier League, given after chance. I mean, fucking hell, when he was in the Prem 2 years ago, he won Player of the Month the first month because he couldn't stop scoring. Technically, he's a fantastic player. It's those kind of players that I want, not a household name, but just somebody.
What about Joe Linton?
Oh, I can't get that one. That one I can't. To be fair to him, the last
me either. But I'm just throwing names out.
Yeah. Like in the last few weeks, I think he, especially the other day when they went down to 10 men. I did watch that game, and I thought he actually had a very good. Even though he didn't score, but he had a very good game. His pressing, his intensity was very good. What other teams have we got? Like Burnley, Chris Wood.
I would
like how you went for the Bamford and Pukki and thing, right? It's like even a player who I wanted in the summer, honest, I wanted Tony and I wanted this player and we didn't get him, and I think he's more of the build of your Pukki and your Bamford is Adam Armstrong.
See, that's the problem I have with it, is that a lot of these players that look good on paper and score a lot of goals in the Championship, he's come up and he can't buy a goal now, and he's even
he scored like 2-3 matches ago, didn't he?
But not
like
what you would expect from somebody that cost them quite a bit of money.
Yeah. What about Che Adams?
Yes, I take him. Well, no, because he's kind of done what Tom just said. He had all this promise, but he's come in. He's hot and cold. I think Che Adams is hot and cold.
I think he's a bloody hard worker, and I think he's got a good work ethic. Yeah, and I think that David Moyes would turn him into an absolute monster. An absolute monster. Can you imagine him being worked on by Nolan?
Yeah.
And all them boys over at Rush Green. Mate, listen, I think Che Adams would be an absolute monster. He'd be a miniature version of Antonio, in my opinion, but with better feet.
No.
Well, Peach, good job you ain't on team selection, mate.
No, who's the striker?
What's with the special effects? Special effects?
Fucking special effects is a screen, dog. I'm outside. Who's the special effects? No, it's just a screen. Wait. Who's the striker for Norwich? He's kind of tasty, isn't he? There's a good striker for Norwich.
Adam Ida.
No, another one. Another one.
Adam Ida. He keeps starting for Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, I like that.
And he doesn't get a lot of game time at Norwich. You know, even another one like, I know it's not going to happen.
Ain't there anyone in Scotland worth looking at?
Well, there was Odsonne Edouard.
I liked him, Andres. I liked him, dog. I thought he was kind of like Tony Antonio kind of build. Like, I liked him, man. Yeah.
I think there's a few players that we've missed out on in recent time that really could have made an impression, so to speak.
What about that Morelos? What was his name? He was from like Rangers or some shit. Morelos.
Alfredo Morelos.
Apparently he was a bad apple and he had an attitude and shit, but like he was good on the ball.
Yes.
So did Di Canio.
Yeah.
So was Di Canio.
Yeah.
Look how fucking good he was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Morelos is a bit of a loose cannon.
No,
there's a few. There's a few. I'm trying to think of sort of like other places in Europe maybe that had it, but no, I think it's one of them where realistically the players that we want, especially those that are in the Prem, you know, that these teams aren't going to want to part with, especially at this point in the season. So
especially to a team that are challenging for top 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right, listen, gents, it's been absolutely wonderful, but I'm falling asleep in my chair here.
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking at the clock at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I think I need to get some sleep. I've got to take my son to work in 4 hours. I've got to take my son to work in 4 hours, Pete. So.
I gotta go and get some sleep, man. Straight up. If I don't get some sleep, man, I fuck up my health all over again.
Yeah. Athers, it's been a pleasure meeting you tonight, son.
Yeah, you too.
Brilliant,
you too.
And listen, anytime we're on air, if you're about,
right.
you know where we are.
Pete sends me a link every time anyway. So
every time.
Yeah, well, you know where we are. You know where we are, mate. If you want to come on, you're always welcome, mate.
Appreciate it,
mate. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. And give my regards to your good lady as well.
I will do.
And,
big up Becca.
Rebecca, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah, Rebecca, it was lovely to hear from you tonight. And well, I think we need to end the stream anyway. So from us tonight, thank you guys for watching. There's still 8 of you in the room, so thank you for sticking with us. It's been a pleasure. Athers, it's been a pleasure. Peach, as always, it's a pleasure, mate. One more thing for us all to say. Come on, you irons.
Up the hammers.